The Beatles were a legendary British rock band that formed in Liverpool in 1960, consisting of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. They became one of the most influential and successful bands in the history of popular music. Over the course of their career, the Beatles released a total of 12 studio albums, numerous singles, and even a feature film, all of which helped shape the landscape of music and pop culture for generations to come. The band's early years were marked by their energetic live performances in clubs in Liverpool and Hamburg, Germany. They quickly gained a following and were signed to Parlophone Records in 1962 by producer George Martin. The release of their first single, Love Me Do, marked the beginning of Beatlemania, a phenomenon that swept the world and turned the band into global superstars. The Beatles' music was characterized by catchy melodies, innovative songwriting, and tight harmonies. They drew inspiration from a wide range of musical styles, including rock and roll, R&B, and folk, and were known for their willingness to experiment and push boundaries in the studio. Songs like A Hard Day's Night, Yesterday, and Hey Jude became instant classics and helped establish the Beatles as one of the most important bands of their time. In addition to their musical achievements, the Beatles also played a key role in the cultural revolution of the 1960s. They were at the forefront of the British invasion, a wave of rock bands from the UK that took the US by storm in the mid to 1960s. The Beatles' influence extended beyond music, as they became symbols of the counterculture movement and embraced social and political causes, such as civil rights and peace. The band's success was not without its challenges, however. In 1966, the Beatles decided to stop touring and focus on recording music in the studio. This decision was partly due to the strain of constant touring and the pressures of fame, but it also allowed them to experiment with new sounds and techniques in the studio. The result was a string of groundbreaking albums, including Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and The White Album, which are considered some of the greatest albums of all time. Despite their creative differences and personal struggles, the Beatles remained a cohesive unit until their breakup in 1970. Each member went on to have successful solo careers, but the magic of the Beatles as a band was never quite replicated. Their influence can still be felt today, as their music continues to inspire new generations of musicians and fans around the world. The Beatles were more than just a band. They were a cultural phenomenon that changed the face of popular music forever. With their innovative songwriting, tight harmonies, and willingness to push boundaries, the Beatles set the standard for what a rock band could achieve. Their impact is still felt today, as their music remains timeless and continues to captivate audiences around the world.